Alright, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another edition of Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling, the push for relevancy here on the channel. We are here for our, I don't know, actually. I was gonna say, like, we're here for our whatever episode of Coast to Coast tapings, but I don't actually know. I think we're at, like, 20, because we've had 11 pay-per-views. So, this is episode 31, so this should be Coast to Coast taping number 20, if I'm not mistaken. But it's, like I said on the last episode, it's going to be another one-shot episode of 3 tapings in one video. I spent the entire last episode, I spent the whole beginning of it at, like, I'm going to try to make this shorter, and then it was by far the longest video in the entire series. So, I'll just go fuck myself this time. It is what it is. It'll be as long as it has to be. So, tonight's Coast to Coast, we're running at, or tonight's entire tapings, we're going to be running at a disadvantage, because the equipment was sent to the wrong place. If I remember, there should be a screenshot right here. I probably will forget, but some of our equipment was set to the wrong place, and it said that we would have a small penalty on every show tonight, which fucking sucks. And then, also in news, since Willow is gone from the company, since she left us, Frankie Boy Fernandez is now our new morale officer. I just thought that was worth noting. But tonight's edition of Coast to Coast, we have a tag team title match scheduled for later tonight. In our main event, Rich and Famous are going to be defending their titles once again. They just defended them at the pay-per-view. Now they're defending them again against the California Dreams, who beat El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. on Hardcore Halloween to get this shot. So without further ado, let's get into the first Coast to Coast, and we do have some pre-show matches, of course, as, Amy St. James beats the local worker Olivia Diamond in a 45 rated match. And we also have the Apex Twins defeating Mark Smart and Warren Technique in a 41 rated match. So, again, giving our younger and less over names some, pop, hopefully, and experience when they're not being booked. I don't want to overwork them, but just keep the matches short. Hopefully you don't get injured, fingers crossed, pretty much. But we kick off this edition of Coast to Coast with none other than the leader of the Coastal Kings, Fox Mask, and he is accompanied by every single member of the Coastal Kings, and he says, look at all these men. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful men that have their head in the right spot, that know what's important to this company and what's important to the wrestling industry as a whole, and look at what they've been rewarded with. Every single member of this faction here has a championship belt. Frankie Perez is the Confederation champion. Jackpot and Jake are the tag team champions. Mask Cougar is our world champion. Airtech Weasel is our extreme champion. And I know what you're hearing. I can already hear it. Fox Mask, how come Fox Mask 2 and Miguel Rivera don't have a championship? Well, they do. Because I have talked with the Confederation of the Territories Board of Directors and got it approved to bring back the old Confederation of the Territories Tag Team Championships from the grave. That's right, when the American Cobras turned their backs on the independent scene and went to TCW, these titles went away, but now they are back for good, and because I promised to oversee the re-inauguration of these titles, the Confederation of the Territories boards allowed me to award the championships to whoever I wanted to, and I feel like no other team has proven themselves in the entire 4 or 5 companies in the Confederation of the Territories than the team of Fox Mask 2 and Miguel Rivera, and he unveils the titles, and he hands them to Fox Mask 2 and Miguel Rivera, and this is for real. This is not an angle I'm running. I have unretired the COTT tag team titles just to give them to the Coastal Kings, and now every single active wrestler in the Coastal Kings has a championship belt, and Sean McFly, of course, comes out, and he says, Fox Mask, look, I love that you're getting into external affairs. It's just, I don't know why you didn't think that every single member of the Confederation of the Territories wouldn't be CC'd on any emails or informed about any meetings, because I was informed about this. This did not caught me off guard. I knew that this was happening, and I even knew that Fox Mask 2 and Miguel Rivera were going to be the first tag team champions. So first off, congratulations, even though you two have never teamed before and have never earned a goddamn thing since joining with Fox Mask. But I got ahead of the curve, and I have pre-booked their first challengers in their tag team title reign, because coming from New York City Wrestling, it is the LA Stars, and LA Star 1 and 2 come out, and Sean says, yeah, I've already booked a tag team title match for your boys, and the Coastal Kings are banned from ringside. And Fox Mask was like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. No, this isn't supposed to happen. But it's too late. The match is underway, and despite the fact that the LA Stars are pretty much homegrown names in Coastal Zone, despite working in New York City Wrestling, I'm gonna have my guys go over, because fuck you. Oh my god, they're so much better. They are so much better, holy shit. But in a 57 rated match, the team of Miguel Rivera and Fox Mask 2 make their first defense of the new, re-established COTT World Tag Team titles by defeating the LA Stars in 9 minutes and 34 seconds. Good little way to kick off the show, 57 overall rating. And the other COTT champion, Frankie Perez, comes out and he celebrates with Miguel and Fox Mask like, we're the future of COTT. We run not only Coastal Zone, but we run the entire independent scene. When Johnny Perez's music hits, and in his hand is the Reach for the Sky briefcase. Frankie Perez looks like he's seen a ghost, and Johnny Perez looks right at his brother, and he says, you worthless waste of semen, I should have known that you would have done this to your own family. But good news for me is I'm finally medically cleared to compete again, and my Reach for the Sky briefcase, I never was able to cash in my contract. My match, my title match, my guaranteed title match at the following Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling show was never able to occur, meaning that I can call my shot anytime that I want for any championship defended on CZCW that I want, and I am so happy that you have won the COTT World title back, because at Showdown at Sundown, it's gonna be your first and last defense when I take that title away from you, brother. 58 rated segment, Johnny Perez is back, and he's coming for Frankie Perez's brand new championship. We cut to the Zell Quinn locker room. Zell Quinn, now a well-known name in our company, and he still cannot cut a fucking promo to save his life. Zell Quinn is trying to rally his troops in a 34 rated angle. Wasted potential. They've got little arm casts on. They're still hurt. Zell Quinn, he's holding his neck. Swipe Romero is just kind of sitting there like, ugh. And Zell Quinn, he's holding his neck. He's like, no, you know what? No, this is not what the Q Crew is about. The Q Crew is about getting booked and taking what we deserve. And you know what we deserve? We deserve fucking respect. Eureka, Onslaught, Swipe. We weren't thinking big enough. Alright, we were going for Tony, the stupid face, and the stupid Puro rejects. We gotta think bigger. If we want to make a name for ourselves in Coastal Zone, we gotta take out the biggest homegrown name that Coastal Zone has to offer, and somebody that we all have a bone to pick with now, alright? Swipe, I got a plan. I don't want Eureka and Onslaught to get hurt again, so Swipe, I got a plan for us. 34 rated segment. We cut backstage. This was not the Q Crew's doing, but Kira Lee, ahead of her tag team title match, was laid out in the parking lot. One of the most dangerous places on the face of the earth is the Coastal Zone parking lot. As Kira Lee was laid out, the Guru and Sky Hermosa trying to make the save. Kira Lee says she doesn't know who did it, but I think we all can guess who would have ambushed Rich and Famous's opponents before their match. Speaking of matches, we have the Inner City Express taking on the Cold Blood Brothers in a 53 rated match. The Inner City Express get the victory in 8:43. Malik Cash pins Snapdragon Jr. with the rocket launcher to get the victory. And after the match, Lenny Brown, he orders Ice to demolish the Cold Blood Brothers, and he's cutting a promo. He says that now that Bad Boy Records have been established in CZCW, it's time they take over. It's time that within months, because he can't do it at the pay-per-view because the world title match is already booked, but before the end of the year, Lenny Brown will find himself with that world title, and the Inner City Express will find themselves with the tag titles. He doesn't give a fuck if you're a Coastal King, a Q Crew. He doesn't give a shit who's in his way, because they're going to come out with the championships. But as the Inner City Express are beating down the Cold Blood Brothers, they are saved, the Cold Blood Brothers are saved by Hugh DeAsk and Joanna Silver, who make the save, fend off Bad Boy Records, and Hugh and Joanna essentially say, look, we are not done with you three, alright? This story does not end here. You do not just get to beat me and then walk away like nothing happened. No. We're going to get our win back, but we know somebody that might want to get a win back more than us. Jay Becker, Malik Cash, we know you're still salty about losing to us weeks ago, and how about we both get something we want? We want a chance to beat you again, and you want a chance to right your wrong. Next week, us two versus you two, what do you say? And Jay and Malik say, you know what? You're fucking on. You're done for this time. So pre-booking next Coast to Coast, we are going to have the rematch between the Inner City Express and the Promiscuous Pillagers next week. Boom, pre-book, 54 rated segment. We have a promo. Sean McFly has called Fox Mask into the principal's office once again. This happens quite frequently for Fox Mask. And Sean says, look, Fox, even though Kira Lee doesn't know who jumped her, I know goddamn well it was one of you guys. It was somebody, whether it was Rich and Famous, whether it was Weasel, Frankie, it doesn't fucking matter who it was. I know it was you. You guys do this shit all the time. So, and then Fox is like, whoa, come, Sean, I did not do this. Look, I did not need to do this. Look, it's the fucking California Dreams. They've never won the tag titles. Why would I worry about, look, I promised you it couldn't have been. And Sean's like, I don't want to fucking hear it. All of you banned from ringside again. It works great. You know what? I'm actually proud of Miguel Rivera and Fox Mask 2 for being able to beat the LA Stars clean. I didn't think they had it in them, but I want the Rich and Famous guys to prove that they have it in them, because the California Dreams are already going to be at a disadvantage. We don't know if Kira Lee's even going to be able to make the match, so the Coastal Kings are nowhere allowed at ringside, or they will be fired. And Fox is like, I didn't fucking... And Sean's like, I don't want to hear it, get out. And he kicks him out. Up next, we have a 69 rated match. It did really well because I had a bit of a gamble finish that I fucking said fuck it, and it worked. But Tigre Salvaje Jr., who will be challenging Mash Cougar for the world title at Showdown at Sundown, teams with Going Coastal, and they defeat Cillian Catsby and Aviation in 11 minutes and 8 seconds. Frankie Boy pins Cillian Catsby with the dirt nap for the victory. 69 rated match. Frankie Boy, holy shit, Tigre got an 82. Tigre might actually be like him and American Flash might have like a new case for like who is actually the biggest homegrown name, because Tigre's fucking great. But a 69 rated match, and afterwards Frankie Boy says, it has been long enough. I've talked with Tigre, I've talked with California Love, and it's time I get my world title back. Everybody's gotten a chance. I have never gotten my rematch. And Tigre Salvaje, he's going to go to Showdown at Sundown, and he's going to beat the shit out of Mask Cougar. And when he does, we've agreed, following Coast to Coast, I am going to get my rematch. Me and Tigre want to go at it. We respect each other, unlike how we don't respect Mask Cougar. I'm going to get my world title match back. Whether I win or lose against Tigre, it's not a big deal. I just want my match again. And then in the event that the Coastal Kings manage to weasel out of that match with Tigre, and Mask Cougar finds his way with the world title, it won't matter, because I will find a way to get my world championship match back. I've yet to get my rematch, and it is almost time. And then, of course, Fox Mask and Mask Cougar, they come out, and they say that, look, there's nothing more that Mask Cougar wants in this world than to beat you again, Frankie Boy Fernandez. However, unfortunately, our inside man has signed an executive order. He says that he wants different people to be holding this world title. And, he has signed an executive order that has banned Frankie Boy Fernandez from ever challenging for the world title again. So, Frankie, I'm sorry, but you're never seeing this world title again. And he's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And Fox is like, I mean what I said. You are not allowed to challenge for the Coastal Zone Championship ever again. 56 rated segment. What does this mean? What will Sean McFly do about this? Who knows? We'll find out next show. We cut to the doctor's office. I don't know. Whatever, like, wherever our version of Doc Samson has set up shop in Coastal Zone, where El Jaguar and Luis, who lost to the California Dreams and aren't getting the tag title match tonight, kind of come up to the Dreams, and Luis is like, look, even though we lost, we just wanted to come and say that this is fucking bullshit. We're glad that Sean's at least put his foot down and banned the Coastal Kings from ringside, but, like, look, we're rooting for you. We'll have your back in case of anything, and we just, look, you beat us fair and square, and just we want nothing more than the rich and famous to lose these titles. And Kira's like, I appreciate, and then El Jaguar's like, yeah, no, we're definitely rooting for you, but I just want you to know that, like, if I was in your position, if Luis were in your position and one of us got taken out, we would still win. So if you can beat us, then you could beat them. And Kira and Sky are like, what the fuck? What? And Jaguar's like, look, if we were in your position, we would still win tonight. So you should do the same. And Kira and Sky are like, okay, thank you, bye. 48 rated segment. El Jaguar, very fucking salty about losing at the pay-per-view here. We have Heartbroken finding Air Attack Weasel backstage, and he says, you all are sick to the core. You're rotten to the core like an apple sitting out in the goddamn Arizona sun. The way you treated a woman at that pay-per-view, the way your men treated this poor air raid siren is disgusting and despicable. There is no amount of backup you can hire that can save your soul. And Air Attack Weasel's like, shut the fuck up and get away from me. Next time you want to come to me, first off, brush your teeth. Second off, back up what you fucking say. Look, this is an intergender wrestling promotion. Air Raid Siren knows what the fuck she's signing up for. Alright? I'm sorry that you guys lost a tables match fair and square. Taking this out on me and my name's Weasel? Listen, Heartbreaker, what the fuck you even are anymore? Nobody talks to me and gets away with it like that. Alright? So next week, you find your little mistress, girlfriend, I don't even know what the fuck you two are. You find her, and you meet me in Fox Mask 2 in a tag match next week. Alright, how's that sound? And Heartbroken's like, you know what? It'll be just desserts when we mop the floor with you two and make you beg for mercy. And Weasel's like, great, see you next week. And that is another tag match that we have pre-booked for next week. It will be Heartbroken and Air Raid Siren versus Air Attack Weasel in Fox Mask 2. Fun match there. And we get another angle, I know, a little angle heavy, I'm sorry, where Seth Whitehead finds Lenny Brown backstage and essentially is just like, look, I don't care that I lost to T. Gray at the pay-per-view, I'm still not giving up, alright? I get knocked down, I get back up. That's how I roll, Lenny Brown. You get knocked out of SWF and you take months before you find work again. I get let go from TCW and I'm right in Coastal Zone making a name for myself. Just because you got a bunch of 2-bit thugs backing you up does not make you better than me, and it sure as fuck does not make you #1 contender over me. So if you want that world title, you gotta go fucking through me. And Lenny Brown says, fine, I'll walk away. And he walks away, but then Seth Whitehead is jumped by the Inner City Express, and they're beating him down, and Lenny Brown's like, don't fucking step to Bad Boy, who the fuck do you think you are? And then they all walk away after they are beating down Seth. Our semi-main, American Flash 75, hell yeah, brother, 65 rated overall match because I couldn't have it go too long. It's just a quick American Flash, Ellie DeGrazia, Cook test. They did well. 10 minutes, 19 seconds. American Flash wins with the high velocity senton. But then we find out what Zell Quinn said what Zell Quinn meant when he said they need to think bigger. The biggest homegrown name in CZCW. Of course, American Flash. They all have a bone to pick with Flash because, of course, American Flash has been backing up his protege and the Expelled during the Q Cruise feud with them. And Zell Quinn brought the fight to him, bringing in Otis von Battenberg to help out. But Zell Quinn says, no more Otis. We want American Flash. We want his mask, or like, you know, we want his head, but it's his fucking mask. So Zelquin and Swipe, they jump him with chairs, hit him with the concerto, not the fucking one that like Edge does where they're laying on the ground, the one from the old like WWE 2K14 universe mode where the guy's on his knees and they both just fucking bang, and it would always get fucked up because the wrong person. Never mind. They concerto American Flash, and Tony the Wonderful is too late to make the save. Zell and Swipe escape, and yeah, they are continuing the feud with American Flash essentially. We get an interview. The Guru is interviewing the number one contender, Tigre Salvaje Jr., and the interview is interrupted by his former tag team partner, El Jaguar. And El Jaguar was acting weird earlier, but I wouldn't say he's acting normal here, but he's not exactly, like, petty. He's genuinely like, look, Tigre, it's been quite a while since we were forced to break up, and look at you. Look at you, already world title match. Pay-per-view world title match, Tigre Salvaje Jr. I'm really happy for you, man. I'm really happy for you. I mean, I really wish I could be a tag team champion with Luis Montero Jr. or fucking even an Extreme Champion by now. But I haven't really had the chance to prove myself. But, you know, I'm happy for you. I'm sure that, you know, working with Going Coastal and all the other top names in the company totally didn't help you at all. But I really am. We spent a lot of time together, and I'm really, really happy that you're breaking out. And Tigre's like, thanks, Jaguar. I've been watching you and Luis, and I really do think that you guys you're really close to capturing the magic and just breaking out in the tag division. So look, keep at it. I'm rooting for you too, Jaguar. I'll be right there when you win your Extreme title, your tag titles, whatever you want. Even if you get the world title before me, or you face me for the world title, I'll be supporting you. And Jaguar's like, yeah, thanks, man. And then he leaves. And again, just weird. Jaguar came off as a little jealous there. Our final angle before the main event is Frankie Perez trying to beat down his brother Johnny Perez, but Johnny Perez, of course, being backed up by Going Coastal. They were kind of teaming up before Johnny Perez got kayfabe injured, so this is just to establish that, yep, Going Coastal and Johnny Perez are still working together. And it is time for the main event. Rich and Famous enter, and it's just Sky Hermosa who enters. No Kira Lee, at least for the beginning of this match, but at around the 10-minute mark, Sky Hermosa, she's fighting all by herself, but Kira Lee, she comes out, she's wobbling, she's not 100%, and she makes the save, she gets the hot tag, and she almost takes the tag titles, but Jackpot Jordan's able to kick out of whatever move she hit, and then before you know it, the injury is too much for her to overcome, and Rich and Famous, in a 79 rated match, holy fuck, despite the Coastal Kings being banned from ringside, the injuries that Kira Lee suffered at presumably the hands of the Coastal Kings were too much for her to overcome, and they make defense number 6 of the Coastal Zone Tag Team titles. And Rich and Famous are looking down at the California Dreams, and Foxmask says, they fucking framed us, beat them down. We didn't beat them down, but if we're gonna get blamed for it, we might as well. And then the Coastal Kings start to beat down on the California Dreams, causing Johnny Perez and the Going Coastal to make the save, and a challenge for next week. And Frankie Boy says, look, if I can't fight for that world fucking title, then I'm not gonna give up the fight against Foxmask and the Coastal Kings. Johnny Perez, California Love Machine, American Flash, all of us are sick of you, so even though you've taken my world title matches away from me, I'm gonna take your career away from you. I'm not giving up this fight, alright? Me, Callie, and Johnny, we want the champions, Jackpot, Jake, and Mash Cougar 3v3 next week, and that is our main event for next week. It is gonna be, fuck it, I just said it, Johnny, California, and Frankie Boy versus Jackpot, Jake, and Frankie Perez. Main event, boom. Pre-book, 63 segment to end the show. Let's see how big these penalties are gonna be. 66. Oh, damn. All right, that. That was a good show too, so that's these are gonna be harder penalties to overcome because of the pre-show problems. But that is the first taping of 3, so let's get into taping number 2. Alright, time for Coast to Coast taping number 2. Here are all the pre-announced matches. Of course, main eventing tonight is Johnny Perez and Going Coastal versus the Coastal Kings, Frankie Perez and motherfucking Rich and Famous. I think I might have said Masked Cougar on the angle on the last show. I meant to say Frankie Perez because that is who the Johnny Perez is feuding with. So yeah, and the only match that wasn't announced on that show is Miguel Rivera versus Tigre Salvaje Jr. This was made by the Inside Man in between shows, so, you know, we advertised it, just not on the show, because it's not a huge match. Sorry, Miguel Rivera, I gave you a big return, and then, you know, so here we go. But first things first, we got our new establishing pre-show matches, as I have the LA Stars for 3 shows. I might as well job them onto all 3 of them. But televised record does not count. But we have Cillian Catsby in Aviation defeating the LA Stars and Olivia Diamond in 651. I wanted to, I don't think I put the Apex Twins on this show. I wanted to give anyone that lost on the last show a win here, so here you go. I might have to bring in the LA Stars full time because they're fucking Jesus Christ. 50 for this one, a 39 for Ellie DeGrazia and the Cold Blood Brothers defeating Mel Torment, Ray Cavallero, and Ultimate Phoenix Jr. in 949. Ellie got the pin. Ellie did the best. That's why she got the pin. And the final match, a 57. I noticed Atsumori Takamura had cooled momentum for some reason, even though he does really well. So gave him a win here. Hopefully that'll help. But yeah, the Expelled defeat Mark Smart and Warren Technique in 946. But we open the show with Tony the Wonderful being interviewed by the Guru. I'm going to try to use the Guru more often to mask some worse promos. So Tony the Wonderful is being interviewed by the Guru, and the Guru's like, Tony, why did you call me into the ring? What do you want? And he just says, Guru, I am fucking pissed. I am sick and tired of Swipe and Zell and the fucking cuckold crew, or whatever the hell they call themselves. You know what? You want to fuck with my mentor? You want to try to take out American Flash for good? How about you try to take me out for good? Zell Quinn, get your ass in the ring and let's go. And then Zell Quinn comes out and immediately accepts. He uncharacteristically accepts. And everyone's like, why did he accept? He's kind of the kind of guy that would never, ever want to willingly wrestle. But he accepts 62 rated segment. And then we find out exactly why he accepted. And he tore... Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, he tore his quad. No, so... Oh, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Okay. Goddamn. Goddamn. See you wrestling next week? No. Okay. Tony, holy fuck, wait a minute. Whoa, Zell tore his quad, and then the match was changed. Zell was supposed to, sorry, you can't see it, because, so what was supposed to happen was Zell was supposed to win this match, because Wasted Potential were supposed to run in, and, reveal that, oh, their arms aren't fucked anymore, but, they had to call an audible, because Zell is so fucked that he probably cannot work the next angle, or he can work an angle, but he lost the match. Oh, fuck me in the bum stick. Alright. It's time to do some rebooking again. Alright, so after quite a bit of rebooking, I've figured out a way we can do this. So I'm gonna essentially, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rewind. Here's what's gonna happen. So Tony the Wonderful, he beat Zell Quinn. We can't change that. But what we can change is that Eureka and Onslaught, They come out to try to cost Tony the Wonderful the match. They only cost Zell by accident, so it is still revealed that their arms are good. They run out, they take the arm braces off, and they accidentally fuck over Zell Quinn. Tony the Wonderful gets the victory. Eureka and Onslaught then begin to beat down on Tony the Wonderful. Now that their arms are healed, they beat down on Tony the Wonderful until American Flash, who has a bandage over his head, which is also over his mask, he comes out, he makes the save, he says that Zell Quinn is a dead man, and Zell Quinn will meet his maker at the pay-per-view. Now, you know what, I'm not even gonna spoil it, we're just gonna, you'll see, it'll make sense. I'm essentially running almost identical the same angle I originally was going to. I just had to change a bunch of things on next week's show. So, American Flash, he's back. The fucking, standing version of the concerto did not take him out indefinitely. He has a bandage. He's all good to go, and he challenges Zell Quinn to a match at the pay-per-view. 53 rated segment. We cut backstage where Fox Mask is talking to Airtech Weasel, and Fox is like, hey, who do you want to help you out in your match, essentially? And Weasel's like, you know what? It's just fucking Heartbreaker. I got this. He waves, I dropped my drink. I physically waved and dropped and spilled my fucking drink. That's just perfect. That got all over my sock. Oh, man. Alright. Well, I physically motion. I don't know why. And I just fucking smacked my goddamn drink. Man, that sucks, dick. Oh, well. But yeah, Airtech Weasel waves off Fox Mask and, says it's just fucking Heartbreaker. He's got this. 48 for that. Sean McFly has Frankie Boy and California Love Machine in his office, and he's essentially like, look, I've looked into this fucking executive order bullshit that the Inside Man has done, and there's nothing, I can't do anything about it. There's nothing I can do. Somehow, he has written a rule within Coastal Zone that states that you, Frankie Boy, cannot challenge for the world title ever again. So, look, I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to find a way to get out of this. But until then, I got another idea how you guys can get back at them. And then that's where the angle ends. We don't find out how. Our next contest is the Promiscuous Pillagers versus the Inner City Express. And this match is going about as exactly as you'd expect, as the Inner City Express are constantly getting help from Lenny Brown at ringside until Seth Whitehead makes an appearance, distracts Jay Becker at ringside, allowing the Promiscuous Pillagers to hit the poop deck plunge, get the victory. Seth Whitehead has aligned with former rival Hugh Dayask and Joanna Silver to take out Bad Boy Records, and Lenny Brown is just fucking baffled. Bad Boy are pissed, and Seth Whitehead, he raises the hands of the Promiscuous Pillagers, and the Pirates are like, what the fuck? Why is Seth helping us? They clearly didn't know this was happening, but Seth Whitehead has aligned himself with the Pirates here. We cut backstage where the Guru is interviewing Zell Quinn, and he's like, look, Zell, that clearly did not go as you were expecting. How's your leg doing? You look pretty bad. And Zell's like, my leg fucking hurts. I'm going to the hospital. And I'm just fucking, this is, god damn it. And now I gotta face fucking American Flash at the pay-per-view and Swipe. He comes running in and he's like, Zell. Hold up. Look, this was not ideal. No, this was very far from ideal. But we still have the advantage, okay? It's just Flash and Tony, alright? All we need to do to secure you a victory at that pay-per-view is to just make sure Tony the Wonderful can't make it to the pay-per-view. And Zell's like, oh, alright. I'm gonna go to the goddamn hospital. You go act. So, 40 rated segment, Zell runs to the hospital, or he can't really run, but he goes to the hospital, and Swipe Romero's got a plan to take care of Tony the Wonderful. We cut to Luis Montero Jr. talking to the California Dreams, and he's essentially like, look, I'm sorry, I don't know why El Jaguar was acting like that, but, look, I've gotten his okay. Look, if you need help with the Coastal Kings at all, if you want to fight them, or you want to, we got your back, essentially. Don't ignore how odd he was being. He says that he'll help me out. We got your back. And Kira and Sky are like, okay, cool. Yeah, we appreciate that. They really fucked us over last week. So, we could use the backup. Our next match sees Air Attack Weasel, the current Extreme Champion, and one half of the COTT Tag Champions Fox Mask 2, taking on Los Facebreakers. And Air Attack Weasel, as we've seen, waved off every member of the Coastal Kings, and he reaped the consequences, as Heartbroken, in his new incel-fueled rage, is able to win the match for himself and Air Raid Siren. Air Raid Siren doing the classical thing of tagging in at the last second to get the pin for herself. So Air Raid Siren pins the current Extreme Champion Air Attack Weasel to get the victory. Air Attack Weasel is down, and Air Raid Siren starts cutting this promo. See that? You see that, Weasel? That's what you get when you fuck with Heartbroken. That's what you get when you mess with the justice system. Weasel, at the pay-per-view, with our victory tonight, Heartbroken will get another Extreme Championship match, and at the pay-per-view, it's gonna be night-night for you, and this is gonna be the beginning of the Empire crumbling for the Coastal Kings. And Sean McFly comes out and he says, look, Air Raid Siren, I'm glad you're all excited. However, that's not the precedent we've been setting. Now, is it, Air Raid Siren? See, if Heartbroken had gotten that pinfall victory, then he'd get a title match. But Air Raid, you pinned Air Attack Weasel. At the pay-per-view, it's gonna be you and the Weasel for the Extreme Championship. And Air Raid's like, wait, no. Sean. And Sean's like, sorry. There's nothing I can do. You already got the victory. And he leaves, and Heartbroken is just baffled. Air Raid Siren is freaking out. Air Attack Weasel is about to get reamed out by Fox Mask. And then we cut to Swipe Romero and Wasted Potential attempting to take out Tony the Wonderful, but Tony is backed up by Bunraku Kantori and Atsumori Takamura, who make the save, lay down the Q crew, and they start yelling in Japanese, and nobody can understand them, and the Guru just happened to be right outside, and Tony's like, hey, can you translate, Guru? And Guru's like, yeah, shit, and he runs in, and Atsumori and Bunraku can start yelling again, and he says, at the pay-per-view, the Expelled and Tony the Wonderful want to put the Q crew out to pasture. 3v3 trios match. Atsumori, Bunrakuken, and Tony versus Eureka, Swipe, and Onslaught. So we have a trios match set for the pay-per-view as well. Wasted Potential and Swipe Romero tried to get the jump on Tony. The Expelled had his back, and now they will be in their own match at the pay-per-view. And as I just alluded to, we cut to Fox Mask absolutely reaming Air Attack Weasel for being so careless. He's just like, what the fuck were you thinking? You didn't have to defend your goddamn title this pay-per-view cycle. What the hell is wrong with you? You waved us off because, oh, it's just heartbreak. When was the last time you faced that incel freakazoid? What is wrong with you? And eventually, Air Raid Siren comes knocking on their door, and she's like, hey, look, you know, neither of us really want this match. You got a man on the inside. Can you find a way to cancel it? Or have me switch out for Heartbreaker? Because it's just fucking Heartbreaker. You can beat him pretty easily, if you ask me. And then Foxy's like looking a little dumbfounded at what is unfolding, and he just looks at Weasel, and he completely changes his tune, and he's like, dude, Air Raid doesn't stand a chance without Heartbreaker. And he says, yeah, Siren, you know, I'll see what I can do. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. And she leaves, and he looks right at Weasel, and he's like, you might be a fucking genius. You might have just locked into the easiest title match of your life. 50 rated segment. Fox Max completely changing his tune. And, yeah, up next, it is Miguel Rivera versus Tigre Salvaje Jr. And you have your classic, Coastal Kings at the ringside. It's, Rich and Famous are at the ringside. Masked Cougars at ringside, trying to get involved in everything. But things fall through when the California Dreams, El Jaguar, and Luis Montero Jr. come out, prevent the heels from cheating, allowing Tigre Salvaje Jr. to defeat Miguel Rivera in 9 minutes and 41 seconds with the Salvaje suplex. 59 rated segment, a 69 performance from Tigre himself. And we cut to Tigre with a microphone, calling out the Coastal Kings, saying, what is with just every week in and week out, every match is the goddamn same. I gotta fight 1v20, or Frankie's gotta fight 1v20, or Flash has gotta fight 1v20. I'm fucking sick of it. How about you, Cougar, pick any 2 members of the Coastal Kings, and you take on me and any of these 4. It doesn't matter. 3v3 next week, and then, you know, we're gonna have a trios match next week. But noticeably, mid-promo, El Jaguar leaves the ring. He leaves much quicker than everyone else. I don't know if Tigre noticed. I don't know how many people noticed, but El Jaguar left the ring fairly quickly while Tigre's making this challenge. So next week, dude, unbelievable. Oh my god. I drop my fucking soda, then I smack my fucking mouse right off my desk. Incredible. Incredible. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? 52 rated segment. We got a trios match next week. And our final angle before the main event sees Lenny Brown and the Inner City Express storming into Sean McFly's office. They are pissed. And Lenny's like, who the fuck does this Seth Whitehead think he is, coming to Bad Boy Records and you're screwing us over, Sean? You owe us a chance to prove ourselves. We want a trios match at the pay-per-view. We want to take on those fucking pirates and Seth Whitehead. And Sean McFly's like, dude, alright, fine. What are you coming at me for? Just essentially demand a trios match, and Sean McFly books it. So trios match at the pay-per-view, the Pirates and Seth Whitehead versus Bad Boy Records, happening at Showdown at Sundown. And our main event sees the team of Going Coastal and Johnny Perez taking on Frankie Perez and Rich and Famous. And at ringside for the Coastal Kings is none other than the man that just lost, Miguel Rivera, but also Fox Mask at ringside. And again, repeat of the last match is just constant interference and all that jazz, until eventually Carlos Barrera, who we have not seen since the pay-per-view where he was screwed over by Miguel Rivera. Carlos makes the save, prevents the Coastal Kings from holy fucking 91. Prevents them from cheating, and once again, we have just the Coastal Kings losing as Frankie Boy Fernandez pins Jackpot Jordan with the Dirt Nap 78 rated segment, and after the match ends, we have Sean McFly revealing exactly what his plan was to get back at the Coastal Kings. If you remember, before I knocked my drink over and my mouse, Sean McFly told Going Coastal that he has another idea to get back at the Coastal Kings, and he comes out and he says, 2 weeks ago, main event of Coast to Coast, Rich and Famous lost to Going Coastal clean, meaning that Going Coastal have earned a tag team championship match, and main eventing Showdown at Sundown will be Going Coastal versus Rich and Famous for the tag team titles. And Fox Mask is like, what? What the fuck do you mean? This is bullshit. What? And Fox Mask clearly not thinking that Frankie Boy could challenge for the other titles that the Coastal Kings have. And it is set Jackpot Jordan, Jake Idol versus California Love and Frankie Perez at the pay-per-view main event. 58 rated segment, a 67 for the overall show. Miguel Rivera was slightly overused. Fucking how? Whatever. 67, 78 rated main event. Frankie Boy is the fucking GOAT. Hopefully, nobody else gets injured in the final show taping we have up next. Alright, it is time for the final taping of Coast to Coast in this hopefully not nearly as long edition of Coast to Coast. As go-home show for the pay-per-view already again. Tonight's show, almost all these were not announced, I should say, as we're going to open the show with Joanna Silva versus Lenny Brown to hype the 3v3. This match I didn't mean to pre-book. I meant to pre-book a different match, and then I remembered, oh fuck, I'm pre-booking it on the show. So, whoops, Apex Twins versus California Love and Johnny Perez is happening, though. And main event, Coastal Kings versus Tigray and Company. We don't know the official members of this match, but we do know that it's going to be Tigray and some combination of the California Dreams and Luis and Jaguar. And the Coastal Kings, it's probably going to be Masked Cougar and some combination of them. So, yeah, fun main event tonight. We, of course, got some pre-show matches to get into as we kick off with a 4v4. Swiper Marrow getting the victory. Why Swiper Marrow? Because I felt like it. Is Swiper Marrow teaming with a bunch of random fucks? Yes. Alright, he gets the victory. 42 first pre-show match. 37 for the second one. Viento Negro and Altitude defeated Mel Torment and Olivia Diamond. Good enough for Aviation to get the victory. And then 58 for the LA Stars final match. They had a very good losing run, but honest to God, probably will bring them in more often because they were giving me great performances. But they are going to job to the Intercity Express. 58. So, there we go. We kick off the final show with a face-to-face between Carlos Barrera and Miguel Rivera, former tag partners in the tag team Notorious, now both completely different paths, as Carlos Barrera is teaming with the most dominant faction in Coastal Zone history, and Miguel Rivera has sold his soul to join said faction. So, Carlos, he calls out Miguel. Gugu's mediating this shit. They have a very heated face-to-face. Miguel Rivera, he says, you, Carlos, you abandoned me. You left me for dead. The only reason you're getting the opportunities you are getting is because you know how to market yourself. I'll admit, I'm not the greatest at that, but you are one slimy little fuck. You have no real skill. You know that when we were teaming up, when we were the tag team champions, I was always carrying you. And Carlos laughs that off, and he's like, are you kidding me? Are you you were carrying me? Miguel, you're nothing but a freeloading, delusional bitch. You are backing the wrong horses. You have lost your goddamn mind. You have lost the plot. You rid my goddamn coattails, so I cut you loose. If you were truly better than me, then how come you aren't in the same position, or at least, if not better than the position I am in? And they just go back and forth, and essentially we agree to have at the pay-per-view Carlos Barrera versus Miguel Rivera, both men from New Mexico, so we're going to have a New Mexico street fight. What is that? I've pre-booked a Texas death match, but we're calling it a New Mexico street fight because they are both from New Mexico, and that is the canon of the game. So, New Mexico street fight. Up next, Lenny Brown versus Joanna Silver. Gets a 58. Lenny Brown did really fucking well. 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Lenny Brown gets the victory, hits the star treatment. Good little opener, 58 rated match, and after the match, Bad Boy Records, they take Joanna Silver's hat off, and they try to burn it, but Hugh Day-esque prevents it. Just, I guess, a fun little angle of Bad Boy Records trying to burn the things that Joanna Silver, holds dearest to her heart. I guess if they really wanted to do that, they should cut off Hugh Day-esque's penis, but I didn't want to run that angle. So they go to burn her pirate hat. Hugh Day-esque makes the save, prevents that from happening. Just a fun little way to continue the storyline. We cut backstage where Tigray is talking to the California Dreams and Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. And Tigray says, with all due respect, California Dreams, I respect the hell out of you. I truly do. I feel like you should be the tag team champions right now if it weren't for not going coastal, if it weren't for the Coastal Kings. However, it has been so long since I have teamed with El Jaguar, and I feel like this is the perfect time. It is the perfect loophole. Our rule was that the only way we wouldn't be able to team again is if Gangster Nation said no. They're MIA. They're injured. They can't say no, and they can't fight. It's a 3v3. Who cares? Let's do it. And El Jaguar, he says no. He's like, dude, we can't. We can't team together. It's the stip, dude. Do you really want to... Look, we're going against the Coastal Kings. Do you really want to deal with that shit? Like, be honest, Tigray. I love teaming with you. You're my bro. We do this, the Coastal Kings, they're gonna fucking enact, they're gonna get the inside man, it's just gonna be a complete headache, And Kira Lee just kind of, like, interrupts the awkwardness of, like, Jaguar not wanting to team with Tigre, which is like, look, I'll team. I'll get revenge. It'll be me, you, and Luis. How about that, Tigre? And Tigre's like, you know what? Fine. Hell yeah, Kira. You got it. You got it. So that's the main event, or at least Tigre's half of the main event. We still don't know who Masked Cougar is going to team with, but it's going to be Tigre, Kira Lee, and Luis Montero Jr. As El Jaguar refuses to team with Tigre, but he says he just doesn't want to deal with the headache of the Coastal Kings, which makes sense if you think about it. After that, we get a via satellite interview of the Guru interviewing Zelquin, where Zelquin announces that he has tore his quad and he will be out of action for about a year. That is a fucking 365-day on the dot injury. And Zelquin, he's like, oh, American Flash, you just seem so excited to fight me, and I'll feel so bad. I'll feel so bad if you can't, but you can't. I have a torn quad. I'm actually hurt this time, and you can't fight me. But look, the Coastal Kings kind of revealed one of my biggest hands that I got a couple connections. So just to make sure that you are not disappointed and matchless at the pay-per-view, I'll find a replacement to take you out. 44 rated segment. Zelquin's out for a year. It's time for a tag match between California Love Machine and Johnny Perez and the Apex Twins. Good little match, 51 total rating. Johnny Perez gets the pinfall victory, pinning Gabe Apex with the triple jump tornado DDT. Okay. California Love Machine got in 73. Good shit from him. 51 overall match. And we, after the match, during the celebration, California and Johnny's hands are being raised when Frankie Perez appears on the Titantron, and he's waving like, hey, Johnny, how are you, buddy? Look, I thought I'd do, my boys Rich and Famous a little favor. While you and California Love Machine were out playing fucking patty cake with the Apex Twins or whatever the hell that was, because that wasn't wrestling, we've had a little word, me, Fox 2, and Miguel have had a little word with Frankie Boy here, and, the camera pans, I imagine it's like Frankie's face, like really up close and personal in the camera, and then he backs away, and you just see Fox Mask and Miguel Rivera pinning down Frankie Boy. He can't move. There is a chair right on Frankie's leg. Not the full Pillmanize, like put his leg in it, because I'm not trying to write him off. But Frankie Boy says, I just thought, Frankie Boy is a little too overpowered. So I thought we might nerf him a little. And then he does a full-on jumping coup de grace double stomp right on his knee where the chair is on top. And, they try to Pillmanize his leg. We'll see how that affects Frankie Boy going into the pay-per-view. Who knows? After that, we cut backstage where Hugh Day Ask and Joanna Silver is talking to Seth Whitehead. And Hugh's like, Seth, I gotta be honest. What the fuck? And Seth's like, excuse me? And he says, dude, not even 5 months ago, you wanted my head on a fucking spike. You wanted me dead. Now you're teaming with me with Bad Boy Wreckers. Why don't you hate me anymore? I don't have any lasting hate against you. I didn't care for you while you're feuding, and I appreciate you helping. I just want to know why. And Seth says, Hugh, truthfully, I didn't really hate you. I talk a bigger game than I, lead on. I never really hated you. Whatever, but what I do say, when I say I don't want anybody taking my spot, that's the goddamn truth. You were trying to take my spot, and I was protecting it. And I did what I had to do. But, honestly, when you went out of your way to take the fight to me and try to kick my ass like a goddamn man, you kinda earned my respect. And I don't know if you want my respect or care about it. I don't care. But I was doing what I had to do, and you were doing what you felt like you had to do. It was business, and this is also business. We both have a common enemy. I respect you. Whether you respect me or not is irrelevant, because we have a common enemy, and it seems like I'm the only help you got. I want to work with you. We should work together. You, me, Joanna, we got a match. Let's at least be on the same page. And he was like, fine. You're an open book, and I can respect that. Let's work together. 55 rated segment just explaining why Seth Whitehead essentially is teaming with you willingly after not that long ago feuding with him. So I just wanted to, before anyone was like, this makes no sense. Nobody does that. You guys are very chill. I like you guys, my audience. We cut to the ring where Wasted Potential are being interviewed by the Guru, and they're like, we want reparations. We demand revenge. American Flash, Tony DeWonderful, the Expelled, they've injured our meal ticket, our booking card. We're not going to get booked without Zell Quinn. They tore his quad right off the bone. Give us some goddamn revenge. And the Expelled come out, and Bunraku Kintore says, I could use a little warm-up. So we have a fun Bunraku Kintore 65 rated Bunraku Kintore onslaught match. Just a fun cook test, I guess. Bunraku Kintore gets the victory in 12-12 with the spinning forearm splash. American Flash and Tony DeWonderful take Eureka LaBelle out at ringside to prevent him from cheating, and Bunraku Kintore gets the victory for the faces. There was supposed to be an angle after this, but it had to get cut via the Zell Quinn injury. It just didn't make sense to run it anymore. So yeah, we cut to the Coastal Kings weird office pseudo thing that they have set up that we constantly cut to where they talk game plan. And Fox is talking to Frankie Perez and he says, Frankie, I'm going to need you to do another favor for me. And he's like, yeah, what's up? What do you need? And he's like, hey, so Masked Cougar's booked for the main event. I'd appreciate it if he wasn't. And Frankie's like, what? He's like, look, he's the world champion. And Frankie's like, Fox, you said that once I got this COTT title, I wouldn't have to be doing this bullshit. And he's like, no, look, listen. It's not that I don't want Masked Cougar to get hurt. It's that Tigre thinks he's fighting Masked Cougar. So if we switch Masked Cougar out for someone of equal status, it's going to completely fucking throw him off guard. And also, it'll free up Masked Cougar to fit in his, get a little action in himself from the ringside. And Frankie's like, okay, but you told me I wouldn't have to do these favors anymore. And Fox is like, look, it's just a case-by-case basis. Cougar will do the same for you eventually. 56 rated segment for that. We have an angle where El Jaguar is, he's kind of near the entrance ramp, but we're still backstage. We're like in the Coastal Zone equivalent of gorilla position, and Sky Hermosa bumps into his chest, and she's like, what the fuck is your problem? And Jaguar's like, what? And Sky says, you have been nothing but a prick this entire time. Backhanded compliments, constantly being lazy. I'm sick of your goddamn bullshit. And Jaguar's like, okay. And Sky's like, meet me in the ring right now, because I want to kick your fucking ass. And Jaguar's like, what? Meet me in the ring right now. I'm gonna kick your ass. And we get an impromptu El Jaguar Sky Hermosa match. They don't have good chemistry. I forgot about that when I pre-booked it, but it was too late for me to change it. So we just had to run a bad chemistry match. It still got a 62. El Jaguar got a perfect rating with a 64 wink. But El Jaguar gets the victory. So even though he's a bit of a prick, he can get the job done. And Sky Hermosa, she gets up and she's like, I hope that settled any beef between us and you. And she goes for a handshake, and El Jaguar just kind of says, get the fuck out of here with that. And he walks away, refusing a handshake from Sky Hermosa. Our final angle before the main event, Fox Mask finds Heartbroken and Air Raid Siren, and he says, good news, I had a talk with our inside man, and Air Raid Siren's like, oh, you got the match canceled. And he's like, oh, no, I was never going to do that. I got Heartbroken banned from the arena. I got the inside man to hit another executive order. He made one that has banned Heartbroken from Showdown at Sundown. He's not allowed in the building. And Air Raid's like, what? Yeah, so you're going to defend your title, or Weasel's going to defend his title against you, and Heartbroken's nowhere allowed, just like at a school, he's nowhere allowed, like, within miles of the building. And yes, 45 for that. Another executive order placed by the inside man, banning Heartbroken from the entire pay-per-view. And it is time for the main event. It gets a 63 rated main event because the creative finish flopped, which sucks. But it happens from time to time. It wasn't a horrible main event. It's just our overall show might be really low. Everybody did really well. Luis was a bit slower, but he's older than everyone. Just story of the match. Coastal Kings do Coastal Kings things with California Love, Johnny Perez, and Frankie Boy occupied, and Flash and Tony occupied. There wasn't really anybody to help out, as Tigre and nobody was able to help out. Cougar interfered for the finish. Frankie Perez pins Tigre Salvaje Jr. with the P clutch. 63 rated main event. Kira Lee got a 70. Holy fuck. This could have been a really decent main event if the creative finish didn't fail. Shit happens. But we end the show with Sean McFly, and he says, you know what? I'm fucking sick of these executive orders, so I'm gonna make my own. If the inside man can just make executive orders and then they're fucking law, they're coastal zone law, nobody in the state of California can do a goddamn thing about it, then you know what? I'm gonna make my own executive orders. So, from now on, I have made an executive order written and signed by me and put on the desk of our owner, Cliff Anderson. From now on, any match involving any member of the Coastal Kings will automatically end in a forfeit if any other member of the Coastal Kings appears at ringside. So no more interference, no more of this bullshit. You guys, if you want to keep those titles, you better get creative, because my executive order has just trumped, wink, anything that you guys could even come up with. 57 segment rating, massive bombshell dropped in the Coastal King storyline. Any outside interference is now donezo. Sean McFly has made his own executive order. And, 58 rated show. Again, it could have been decent if, the production values weren't there. That's all I'm saying. So every pay-per-view match, we've got, let me run down the card real quick. As we, here you go. 1 fucking year on the dot. We made $5,000, and then we're going to make some more via broadcast revenue, so that's good. And I think we're one more popularity point, and then we're medium. But let me run down Showdown at Sundown for you, as we are going to have the Q Crew. This is in order, by the way. The Q Crew will take on Tony the Wonderful and the Expelled. The Coastal Zone Extreme Championship is up for grabs as Air Attack Weasel defends his title against Air Raid Siren. A second trios match, Bad Boy Wreckers. Let me actually pull up the... Oh, there goes my dog. I'm not going to cut this. It's just you guys got to deal with him this time. Another trios match is Bad Boy Records. Ice and Lenny Brown take on Joanna Silver, Hugh Dayask, and Seth Whitehead. A New Mexico Street Fight, a.k.a. Texas Deathmatch, between Miguel Rivera and Carlos Barrera. We have a match that isn't pre-booked because I can't yet. Zell Quinn got hurt, but he says he will find a replacement for his singles match against American Flash. The Confederation of the Territories World Championship is up for grabs. Johnny Perez cashes in his Reach for the Sky briefcase thing against Frankie Perez in the third from last match. The semi-main Coastal Zone World Championship, Tigre Salvaje Jr. challenges Mass Cougar for his world title, and then main event, going Coastal. They have 2 victories over Rich and Famous over the past 3 weeks on Coast to Coast. They get a World Tag Team title shot. Main event, every single member with the new executive order, every single one of these matches with Frankie Perez, Mass Cougar, Rich and Famous, will automatically end in a forfeit, and their titles will be handed over if any other member of the Coastal Kings show up from ringside. So who knows how that's going to go down. Massive bombshell before Showdown at Sundown. Will the landscape of Coastal Zone finally change? You'll have to find out in episode number 32.